So welcome to Talking Point with Stephen Taylor. It's good to have you along today. And today, joined by a friend, a colleague, and I don't know, somebody that needs no introduction. Faizal, how are you, man?
I'm doing well yourself, Stephen.
Good, thank you. Good to have you here.
It's nice seeing you sometime. Like I've been not too long ago on your program, so it's nice seeing you on this side.
I like our chats that we have. You know, it's very beneficial and it's very informative, and I think people need to know about what's going on. You know,
yes,
and
of course.
it's good to touch on issues.
I think that the difference is that we're not only there as presenters, but we're immersed in the media behind the scenes.
That's right.
And therefore we absorb and we sponge all these things which we get back to people.
Well, I would class myself as a journalist. You as well.
Yes.
Because we get information. It's about getting that out to the public and, you know, letting them know what's going on.
Correct.
So today we're going to touch on a couple of things, actually. The Myanmar issue, which you know more about than I do, and I think it's important for us here in South Africa. I know that you had a big thing the other day. You went marched to Parliament. You can tell us a bit about that. Trump. We'll talk about him because we know we both love him. He makes for good content on the show, right?
Of course.
And then another thing with regard to the service industry and what we get in South Africa, you know, there with regard to insurance companies and going out to eat or whatever it may be. Sometimes as South Africans, I think we are hard done by. And the service that we get, the service level that we get in certain things are not as good as they should be.
Correct, yes.
Have you had any experiences with regard to that and things that may have happened to you?
I think that's where you want to start. I think you're 100% right. I think that that South Africans generally need to be able to say that I'm not happy about something. If the cashier behind the counter gives you a funny look, you need to be able to say that.
Bearing in mind that those are human beings as well.
Correct, yes. But if you've paid for something, I think that you need to get the value out of it.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
Well, I want to bring something to your attention, an incident that happened to me, and you don't need to say anything. I don't expect you to say anything, but it's just something that happened to me with regard to the insurance industry. And I think we deserve better, you know. I think there are so many adverts and things going around that, like, insurance is great, this insurance company is great. And in my opinion, an insurance company that I dealt with recently was Santam, and in my opinion, they are the worst insurance company in South Africa. But I'm not the only one that's saying that. Wait, let me just I'll get to their response in a moment.
Maybe you can clear my position around all of this, because I do service the CEO of the channel.
Yes.
I think that I've seen a letter which I'm going to respond to, which was addressed to me. I'm not certain why we were addressed, because your show
went above me,
and your opinion is your own matter. We as a broadcaster, we find ourselves in a strategic position, and that is not to stunt anything, but at the same time to be fair to all parties. I do want to author that email today sometime back to Santam, saying that the right of reply, which they mentioned, which you're going to talk about now.
Yeah.
I think everybody's got that right to reply.
They
and
do.
It is my opinion that I'm not on your side, or I'm not on their side.
Yeah.
I just want to take a balanced position. But I think when it comes to media, I think that the right of reply must be contained in two areas, and one is that an appearance on the program to verbally say this is what it is and what it's not, and then the written right of reply. But however, appearing on a TV show to talk about your right of reply might be a bit different, because you might end up in a robust discussion, which is fine. Which is not a problem. It's not any judgment on anybody.
Yeah.
But I think we need to be open to talk about different things.
No, I'm open. If they want to come on the show, they're welcome to, but I'm probably going to prove them wrong. And just saying that, in my opinion, that Santam is the worst insurance company in South Africa, I'm not the only one that says that. There's a well-known website, hellopizza.com. I don't know if you've heard of that. This is a guy that went through kind of similar what I went to. He says that these Santam insurance guys arrogantly bully and cheat people on payouts every single day, and know that they get away with it, as no one goes to court or sues them or has a lawyer. Now, just to give you a background, what happened to me was I had a claim. One of Santam's clients drove into me. Santam says, go get 3 quotes, which I did, and it ranged from, say, 25 to 23,000. There was not a lot of difference in it. Santam came back and paid me over 20% less than those claims. They sent an assessor out. Well, they didn't actually send an assessor out. I emailed my claim through on the Friday. By the Monday morning, I'd already got a written up, drawn up thing saying I must sign. The assessor didn't come out. The assessor didn't phone me. They made no effort. So they sped it up. Yes, they knew that I was in media. They sped it up, rightly so, fine, whatever. But I don't think that they did what they were supposed to do. As an assessor should come out, an assessor is paid to do a job. It's like me as a journalist coming to do my show, but like doing it from home and saying, yeah, you know, Faizal, I'm just going to sit here, I'm going to do my show at home, I'm not going to get any guests, I'm just going to chat to myself, and that's not going to make for good TV, is it? My ratings will go down and people won't watch my show because the content won't be good enough.
Correct, but Stephen, looking at all of that, I think that it is crucial that you continue extending your invitation
No,
to
I will.
so that they can talk to you about
I never meant to do the show.
Yes.
I didn't want to do it. I tried to give them the opportunity to settle this without doing this. And their response was just totally shocking. They went over my head, went to you, went to other people, producers and executive producers on my show. And I think that is wrong. I think that they had all my details. I gave a claim. They had my phone number. They had my email address. They could have contacted me and said, look, Stephen, let's try and negotiate. Let's try and sort this out like adults, and I would have said, okay, no, fine, and that would have been the end of it. This guy had a claim. He also got quotes. He had an estimated repair quote of 48,000. An approved panel shop quoted 37,000. Santam eventually only paid him out 10, and he eventually had to pay 25,000 to have it, so he forked out extra 15,000. He's now having to sue Santam's client for the rest of the money. I don't think that's right. He has a client that pays their money each month for a service, and Santam has not fulfilled that mandate. Now this person is being sued for a claim that he thought was fine. Not cool at all. Not cool.
Are you saying that they would act outside the juristic ability at all? Are you feeling that they're not sticking to the contractual arrangement? Because if you're saying that, you're going to have to also be able to verify and back that up. And hence, that's what I thought was the thing that you should be doing, to bring the parties in and say, listen, where?
No, they must let me know where it says that on a quote they can pay 20% less. No, fine. But let me give you the response, which is just a... That says South Africa, as South Africa's largest general insurer, which is very much debatable because I will explain why I say that in a moment. We always try very hard to settle claims in a reasonable and fair way. We generally sympathize with the fact that the accident with our insured client must have inconvenienced Mr. Taylor, and we did everything we could to expedite both an assessment, which the assessor didn't rock up. Yes, they did speed it up. I got my money quickly, but not what I was supposed to get. An assessment process, as well as the calculation of the cost of repair to his vehicle. Following a robust internal review of this matter, we feel that we have accommodated Mr. Taylor, and obviously they don't need to know the amounts, and obviously please do not hesitate to contact us should you need any further information. Well, I did try and do that. I did email and asked. I did say, look, is this the final offer? I never got a reply. Do I need to, if I sign this, also if you sign your rights away? And I also said I do not agree with that. I sent an email, I said I'm signing, but I'm also not agreeing to what you're saying, but I will send it through because obviously I need my car to be fixed. So with regard to Santam being the biggest, they say that they're the biggest, right? 24% is the biggest. They're the sole biggest, but they are, if you take 66% of South Africans, is that right? 60, 80, no, 76% of South Africans are not using Santam. So how can you claim to be the biggest when 76% of South Africa are using other insurance companies? You're not the biggest. Well, those together are the biggest. You're not the biggest. So I think it's false advertising from their side when they're doing things like that. And what do you have to say about that? No, you're going to challenge me now. That's okay.
No, I don't think it's about challenging you, Stephen. I think it's about I
Giving
think that,
perspective and putting
yes,
two sides to the story,
yeah,
for
of
sure.
course. So I don't speak from a Deen Media point of view, but just my personal opinion is that I think that maybe after this program, perhaps that I'm hoping that they'll meet with you,
I hope so.
even on a show to say, let us explain, because I think maybe as South Africans we maybe need to sort of have perspective on everything that we see here and what we do. And I think maybe it's good that they come in and if they feel that they could educate people, because if you're saying there are many other people with a similar complaint.
That's just one complaint
yes.
that I read out from Hello Peter. There's
Correct,
many
yeah.
more.
Then perhaps it's maybe a good thing for them to accept an invitation from you
Yeah.
to come into the program and say, you know what, this is why we got to this point. And then it's up to the public to decide whether they feel that that is fair or not. And that is just my opinion. You know.
And if there are any public that have had bad experiences with Santam, please let me know, all right? Drop me an email, stephen@deentv.co.za, stephen@deentv.co.za, or get hold of me on my social platforms at Stephen Taylor SA on Facebook and Twitter. And of course, you can also find Talking Point Facebook page on Facebook as well. And get in touch and let's hear your side of the story as well. What have you experienced from Santa? Maybe you've got a really great story that you'd like to share. Let us know about that as well. We'd love to hear from you about that. It is Talking Point with Stephen Taylor. We're on conversation with Faizal Syed. We will be back and talk more about Myanmar and Mr. Trump. Welcome back to Talking Point with Stephen Taylor. We're in conversation with Faizal Syed, who's become like a commentator on many things, because I like that, I like that we can talk about things openly and candidly and not like have to say,
Listen,
worry about...
Stephen, I have philosophy in media, and people can like it or not like it. I heard there were complaints about my approach at times. But the point is...
and mine too, but that's okay.
We have to get into a space where we are able to say anything as it is, like it or not. If we don't do that, we're not going to move to the next space in our civilized life, and that is to grow up, face reality, and move on.
Sometimes facing reality is a hard challenge.
Correct.
Sometimes the truth hurts.
It's about change. The only thing in life that's permanent is change, but I think that people are always acting against this concept of change.
Talking about change, America had a new president. I don't know, when we spoke last time, it was fairly new. He's had 100 days and a bit more. Wow, it's in a way it's like watching a reality TV show with a comedy show plus reality again. It's like, what just happened?
I must say, I find Mr. Trump fairly entertaining.
Yes.
As you said.
Yes.
I think that maybe all his decisions, I don't seem to understand most of them. But that's my opinion. But I think that he is doing one thing right, and that is he's perhaps marketing himself in a particular manner where he's also got this very blunt approach, and maybe people want to hear blunt things. So I'm not sure if this is why he got there in the first place. However, at the same time, I do think that there needs to be presidential decorum in terms of how heads of state speak to each other, what they call each other. Because it is the old story of being in the playground, and if you kick my ball and take my marbles, this time...
Are you talking about the United Nations speech where he did, where he called Kim Jong-il? What's his name? What do you say his name?
That's something.
Rocket Man.
Yes.
Well, that maybe he couldn't pronounce it. That's why he said Rocket Man.
But this is the same thing as it is exactly the same scenario of sitting in the playground when you're in school and someone takes your marbles and then you want to hit it out there and you start the whole thing. However, in this case, if you do that, many innocent people die. So I think that needs to be given consideration, and therefore I think presidential decorum and behavior needs to be of the highest diplomacy.
I think so. I think so too.
Because you're making decisions, might be firm decisions, but they affect other people's lives.
What about not DACA?
Yeah.
You mustn't confuse the two. There's one,
Yeah.
Dhaka and Dhaka.
Yeah. I think in South Africa, it's got a...
It's not a South African context. Dhaka.
It's got a different...
It's a DACA. You know a bit about that? He signed a law, and now they've taken it to Congress, and basically those people that were allowed into the country to study, right?
Correct, yes. And so they're known as dreamers.
That's right.
And so they come in and they see the American dream. I think that they bought into the American dream, which they in the first place started selling to the world. So you go off in all your Hollywood movies and productions and you sell America.
Well, that's what they did.
As this place of dreams. Now when people have arrived with their dreams that you sold to them, now you're saying, excuse me, where are you going? Do you know what I'm saying? What I love is that Steve Jobs' successor,
Tim Cook.
Yes, has gone out there saying that he loves the idea of people coming to America with their bright ideas, because he believes that around the world you could harness the potential of the intellectuality.
That's right.
And put that into something.
We all have different mindsets. We all are different people. And we all can offer different things.
So he's got a very different thought to
I like
all of
that.
So
I like that.
So I love this statement which I saw in the press yesterday. But I think that Mr. Trump will continue to raise the war all around America all the time.
I think what he wants to do is good, but I think the way that he's trying to do it is not right. He's like very straight to the point, and that sometimes doesn't work, right? Because you've got to be presidential, you've got to be diplomatic when dealing with things like this. And yes, you want to stop people coming into your country, but the way that he's doing it is not right.
I think this is where the problem has come with regards to Trump's managerial style. And that is that in the Trump Tower, you could sit across the table right now and say, Stephen, you're fired.
That's right.
But that's not very possible.
Which we have seen recently in the White House as well. He's fired a few people.
Yes, but that's not that easy said and done. And I mean, you're not on the apprentice all the time.
No.
You know.
Would you say that he's a dictator?
I think that he displays a big character of himself that speaks of narcissistic behavior in my view, and being a dictator, and they obviously have a very defined profile and characteristic of people. And
should we be worried?
I think that there's one positive about this American dream that you're talking about for all the years, and I think with America trying to be the superpower, maybe the destructive force for that brand is sitting in the White House. That's my view.
Yeah, I think that's,
And not that after the election, I had many friends saying that, and I'm very sorry, but I've got American friends, and I think they're the most intelligent people. And we've got American service providers.
I love the way that they speak, right?
Yeah,
the accent is so cool.
And I think that they're great people. But
they are.
But I think that some people did say, is this indicative of the mentality of Americans when you're able to vote someone in because it looks like the Apprentice show, or it looks like, and if that's what you base your voting on.
And he never even won the popular vote.
Correct, yes.
And Hillary Clinton now recently just launched a book, and she instead
I don't think she was any better in any case.
No, I don't think so either. I think Bernie Sanders made a better candidate.
For some reason, I just felt that he was more genuine than most people.
I saw a joke on Twitter the other day. Donald Trump is signing executive orders. Hillary Clinton is signing books.
Which is actually... It's all about signing up something. You know.
I don't think that I think that she thought that she was going to win as well. That's why she never went to certain states to campaign, because she thought, I'm going to win.
Correct.
But in life, nothing is certain, right? You've got to go out and do the work in order to get the result. Funny, United Nations the other day, Donald Trump talking about Nambia, which doesn't even exist.
I thought it was a new country.
I know.
But Stephen, I'm sorry to say this, but you need to stop being a hypocrite about something.
Hey man, what did I do now?
Your president can't count.
Well, there we go. So
one can't spell.
Well, at least now we've got two people that are running the world that, one can't count and one doesn't know countries. Geography and maths.
It balances.
I think, it does. It does. Makes for good entertainment. I love it, man. I love watching the news.
I believe that we're watching a movie.
Yes.
Most times. I believe that this is just all a movie. And I don't know how much importance do we place on it all down the line. Because you're sitting in your home at night watching some TV. Doing what you're doing, going on with your life. I don't know, they're just having a show out there, they're having a ball of a time.
Which is not good, because it's real world, real life.
Maybe we need to go back into the time of the Plantagenet kings, raise an army,
Yeah.
take him out.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you know, with regard to what's happening in this country at the moment, I see that Kgalema Motlanthe, former president, has been very outspoken, been doing a lot of interviews and stuff like that. And funny thing is that yesterday I heard, well, in the week, I heard an interview that he did with another radio station where they asked him, if they had an election tomorrow, would you vote for the ANC? And he said yes. Which was very interesting. I thought that was very interesting.
I think that people's loyalty lies in.
It's not about the party. It's not about the people that run the party. It's about the party and what the party stands for at the end of the day. And that's where some people.
I think that's where the archetype comes from, and that is that they would continue voting for something because that is what was fought for, and I agree with that. From a point of view. However, at the same time, if you are in that party and you want to vote for that party and you have an ability to speak to the powers that be, then you need to use your position and say, excuse me, enough is enough. You're making damage. And are they doing that? I'm not sure.
We'll have to wait and see. December elective conference, it's going to be an interesting one. We'll be following that closely, absolutely, because it affects all of us.
What I do think is that they should take out Days of Our Lives and put Parliament TV in that time. Because then the ratings will be quite good. I mean, the script is good. You know, it's doing well like any other show will
But
go.
one thing that I want to say about Juju, you know, Julius Malema, he did actually warn us, Many all those years ago, he
Is
said...
he the guy that put Zuma into power?
Yes, but he also warned us later.
Of course.
He also warned us later.
Because I actually think he's a good guy. I think that, and I'm very proud of him for one reason, and that is that somebody has an education in Parliament.
He does.
And I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, he's done well. I must commend him for that. Well done, Julius. But now, what happens after Jacob Zuma's gone? He's not the president anymore. He's not the president of the ANC either. What happens to the EFF? What happens to the DA? Would we not see the ANC then starting again and growing again? Because now the EFF
have they not damaged their reputation beyond?
Yes, I think so. Yes, absolutely. But the EFF now, what will they be standing for? Then they'll have to look at policies and what the people really want, and the DA as well. Because then you're going to get a situation where, what do? Because they've been harping on the same thing for so long, going to court, going here, going there.
Yeah, what I know, Stephen, is that all these people seem to be spending all their time on each other. I think it's time that they spend time on us.
I think so.
They spend time on each other.
Going to court, going here.
They're fighting all the time, hurling comments, all of that and all of that. They need to stop their rubbish and decide to spend their time on the people that put them up there. And if South Africans don't wake up and say, excuse me, I put you up there, you work for me, I don't work for you.
I agree.
I'm very sorry to say, president or not, but you work for me as a citizen.
But now the other thing is, now you've got a president that has a question mark over his head. Whether he did it or not is irrelevant.
I don't think it's grammatically correct to put numerous question marks next to each other, but there are a few.
But now the situation is that now as South Africans, I think we've lost the plot. Because if you look at what's going on the roads, if you look at the crime, if you've got a question mark over the president, the leader of the country, crime is going to increase because people think, oh, he can get away with it, so can I.
Yes.
The lawlessness on the road is just like something that I've never seen in my life. People driving through red lights, people driving through stop streets, people just disobeying and not caring about their country anymore, and I think that is sad. I think that really is sad, because it's up to us to make this country better and forget about what's happening in Parliament or forget about what's happening with the leaders. We, as people on the ground, can make a difference, and I don't think we're harnessing that. We're not doing that.
Correct.
As Mandela said, it's in our hands, and it is, but we're not using that power. We're doing silly things.
Of course, but it's all entertainment.
Well, yeah, it is. But crime is something that we need to have a talk about, and something that we need to stand up against, and crime is not political. So now, changing topic completely to something different, but equally as bad, Myanmar. Tell me about that, because I don't know much about that.
Okay, so when you said let's talk about this, I decided to shortcut something.
Okay.
And that was I want to do a QQ with you, which is a question.
Right.
And that was, do you really think that we need to talk about, like the rest of the world is discussing, and trying to understand the history of the Rohingya people in Burma? Do you really think that in 2017, after we've come through the dark ages, and after we stop chopping people's heads off through any nation, from Britain down to everyone else.
Yeah.
Do you really think that with all the education we have and all the civil laws and behaviors around the world and all the constitutions, that we are not educated enough to know that we should not be killing anyone irrespective of what you think history might be?
That's right.
We should not even be having that discussion as human beings. We should be saying, excuse me, we're not interested in who said, she said 500 and 800 years ago, and yes, that story started that time. Does it matter when you chop a child that was born yesterday's head off? Does that child know what happened 5 or 100 years ago?
No.
What's the point of then discussing all of that?
It is a sad situation. I know that you guys went to Parliament the other day. You had a march, the MJC.
Because we need to say no to oppression.
Of
Any
course,
oppression.
of course.
Whether that oppression is against Muslim people, whether it's against Christian people,
or anything.
it doesn't matter. We need
must
to
stand up together.
Yeah. Stephen, my point about all of these things is to say that I think that, like I said it on one of my live videos, I said that human beings are in boxes, and it's these boxes that fight with the other boxes. But human beings, if they're out of these boxes, they will not kill each other.
But we're also very stupid at times because we also
go
follow
with your
trends.
box.
We
If your
follow
box
trends.
says go kill that people,
Yeah.
you'll be an idiot to do that.
That's right.
So stop following your box, whether your box is an Islamic box, whether it's a Christian box, whether it's a Buddhist box, whether it is, any box should tell you not to murder other people.
Have your own opinion as well.
Correct, yes.
Think for
So
yourself.
start thinking for yourself.
Who's that lady that
Suki.
Yeah.
Which is
Okay.
very sad because
she
I
won the
believe,
Nobel Peace Prize?
not Nobel and not noble at all.
No.
She should be stripped of that prize because
so.
the prize is associated to people with integrity, leadership that stand up against oppression, that stand up for truth. She's about falsehood, oppression, murder, corruption, and fraud, and she should get out.
I think so too. On that note,
Sorry to put it that way.
on that note, Faizal Syed, what a way to end the show.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you for doing what you do. You're
Thank
a
you for
legend.
supporting us.
Where can we find you on social media quickly?
Faizal Syed TV on Twitter, at Faizal TV on Facebook.
At Stephen Taylor SA on Facebook and Twitter, and of course facebook.com/Talking Point. Another episode of Talking Point with Stephen Taylor. Thank you, Bjorn de Prier. Thank you, buddy. Have a good one. God bless. Bye-bye.